Welcome back to the Hard Money Academy. This is Chris Jameson with SF Lending, your hard money lender for life. Now we're going to go through Hard Money 304, working with wholesalers, where we're going to go through the ins and the outs and navigating the waters of working with individual and corporate wholesalers. Wholesalers can be your best friend or your worst enemy, so make sure to proceed with caution. There are large wholesale shops and individual wholesalers. So the large wholesale shops have the most deals, right? They put out dozens of deals a month. They put out a ton of deals, and they're in a bunch of markets. They franchise and they've grown, nationwide for the most part. So in that same mix, there's large wholesale operations or companies that exist just in specific markets, right? They're very similar. They have the most deals. At the same time, they have the most buyers. So they tend to price a little bit higher because demand is higher on the deals that they put out. And they're also firm on their numbers. They don't really need to come down. There's not room for negotiation. The price is what it is. They control the deal flow. They control, the demand, and they control the supply, and the demand is fairly high in this current market, so they can, pretty much call the shots. They also buy from individual wholesalers that haven't developed the sales side of their business yet, so they just offload their deals to these bigger operations that have expansive buyers list and just rely on them on moving the deals for them. There's also individual wholesalers. I feel they're the best kind, right? Because they're more likely to develop a relationship with you. I know people that have bought hundreds of houses from one individual wholesaler over several years' time, right? They can be your best friend. They trade deals by text, by phone call. Most of the time, they never even hit the market. You don't see them on an email blast. You may start to see them in Facebook as more people are putting deals together, but you develop those relationships with the individual guys. You get access to the deals first. You can go to the property. You can, buy once you've done several with them. Maybe you can buy sight unseen if you're an experienced investor. You just have more options. You can develop stronger relationships with them, and they may be a little bit more negotiable with their inventory than larger shops. But really, you need to figure out what works best for you. I have bought from large corporations. I bought from individual wholesalers. I've even bought direct from the seller myself. What you have to do is figure out that every avenue can be a good one, but which one you need to use at the right time is up to you. Also, wholesalers work with hard money lenders all the time. Why? Because the hard money lender has a qualified buyer, right? The wholesaler doesn't have to take the time to go show a property with a tire kicker that doesn't have the ability to perform on the deal, right? So a hard money lender has access to a lot of buyers, so they can push the properties out for the individual wholesalers. So make sure to talk to lenders to be able to facilitate those types of deals. And when buying those deals, the borrowers of the hard money lending company can buy more deals because they're saving cash per deal, right? So I went through a little bit in Hard Money 100 series, how to leverage hard money lenders' capital to be able to buy more deals at once. So instead of buying cash, you can leverage other people's money, the hard money lender, and buy more properties, right? So the wholesaler think it's beneficial because that one individual can buy more deals from them. They can focus on buying the properties directly off market and worry less about the sales side. And worrying less about the sales side is an additional reason why wholesalers work with hard money lenders. Again, they've got a big buyers list. Their buyers are qualified. They know how to pull the trigger, and the hard money lenders walking them through and giving them reassurance that the deal's good through the purchase process. So it comes down to solving the wholesaler's problem, right? Wholesaler's got a property. Wholesaler needs to move this property. You've got a problem. You need to buy more properties. So it seems like a good relationship. Just make sure, maintain clear lines of communication up front. You want to under-promise and over-deliver. Don't say that you're going to buy 10 houses a month when, one, the wholesaler doesn't do that amount of volume, and two, you don't know if you have that kind of capacity. So make sure that you don't over-promise. And remember, your character is your currency. So what you do over time is going to develop your worth as a person to be able to interact and be able to buy these kind of deals as you build, as your reputation grows in the marketplace, both with individual and bigger wholesale companies. Manage your expectations, right? So I have yet to see a wholesaler on purpose intentionally undervalue a property, right? They're not going to say they're not going to, oh, this property is crap, it's not worth anything, it's worth, a lot lower than it should be. No, they're going to sell the upside of it, right? So make sure that you run your own comps. And you can also rely on your lender, right? If your lender has a good reputation and, their foreclosure ratio is pretty low, then that means they're not taking back properties, so they're not overinflating the ARV. They're putting you in a good situation, and you're able to get out, move on, come back, and do another deal. So you want to make sure to run your own comps, or have your lender, your trusted lender, run the comps, or your trusted realtor, if you're working with a realtor on the backside of the transaction. Make sure that they know that you're looking at deals and they can run numbers for you. Keep in mind, the wholesaler and the realtor get paid on the transaction when it closes. The lender is tied in it with you until they get their money back. Keep that in mind. Your lender is going to have your and their best interest in mind. You also want to verify the rehab. It's pretty frequent that wholesalers tend to miss things on their estimated repair budget, right? Or nowadays they just say TBD, to be determined by the buyer, right? The house can be falling apart and they could say you just need to paint it and then you can rent it out. Make sure that you run your own rehab numbers. Proceed with caution on every wholesale deal. Run your own comps, verify your rehab. Do your due diligence up front so that you do not back out of a deal after you commit to it. That hurts your reputation and your character. Over time, quality over quantity. So weed out the ones that don't mesh well with you, or ones that you don't think that you can work well with personality, or even if you're looking for a 70% deal and all this section of wholesalers are selling deals at 85 cents on the dollar, right? You're never going to find a 70% deal from people that have access to thousands of buyers that are selling at 85%, because that's what the market's bearing right now. If you're going to try to find deals that are like that, then you've got to hustle and go to these events and try to find the individual wholesalers that are door knocking, that don't have access or don't have the time to develop the buyers list. You got to go find them. And lastly, respect their time, right? They're out there hustling on the street, doing stuff. If you're going to say that you're going to run comps, or you're saying that you're going to make a determination of if you're going to purchase or not with a certain time frame, stick to it. Stick to it. Develop that relationship. If you say that you're going to do something, do it. That concludes Hard Money 304, working with wholesalers. This is Chris Jameson, SF Lending, your hard money lender for life.